Personality disorders. If healthy people are able to work, love, and think productively, then unhealthy personalities are marked by problems in these three areas, especially failure to love productively. Fromm held that psychologically disturbed people are incapable of love and have failed to establish union with others. He discussed three severe personality disorders: necrophilia, malignant narcissism, and incestuous symbiosis. Necrophilia. The term necrophilia means love of death and usually refers to a sexual perversion in which a person desires sexual contact with a corpse. However, Fromm used necrophilia in a more generalized sense to denote any attraction to death. Necrophilia is an alternative character orientation to biophilia. People naturally love life, but when social conditions stunt biophilia, they may adopt a necrophilic orientation. Necrophilic personalities hate humanity. They are racists, warmongers, and bullies. They love bloodshed, destruction, terror, and torture, and they delight in destroying life. They are strong advocates of law and order, love to talk about sickness, death, and burials, and they are fascinated by dirt, decay, corpses, and feces. They prefer night to day and love to operate in darkness and shadow. Necrophilous people do not simply behave in a destructive manner, rather, their destructive behavior is a reflection of their basic character. All people behave aggressively and destructively at times, but the entire lifestyle of the necrophilous person revolves around death, destruction, disease, and decay. Malignant narcissism. Just as all people display some necrophilic behavior, so too do all have some narcissistic tendencies. Healthy people manifest a benign form of narcissism, that is, an interest in their own body. However, in its malignant form, narcissism impedes the perception of reality so that everything belonging to a narcissistic person is highly valued and everything belonging to another is devalued. Narcissistic individuals are preoccupied with themselves, but this concern is not limited to admiring themselves in a mirror. Preoccupation with one's body often leads to hypochondriasis, or an obsessive attention to one's health. Fromm also discussed moral hypochondriasis, or a preoccupation with guilt about previous transgressions. People who are fixated on themselves are likely to internalize experiences and to dwell on both physical health and moral virtues. Narcissistic people possess what Horney called neurotic claims. They achieve security by holding on to the distorted belief that their extraordinary personal qualities give them superiority over everyone else. Because what they have looks, physique, wealth is so wonderful, they believe that they need not do anything to prove their value. Their sense of worth depends on their narcissistic self-image and not on their achievements. When their efforts are criticized by others, they react with anger and rage, frequently striking out against their critics, trying to destroy them. If the criticism is overwhelming, they may be unable to destroy it, and so they turn their rage inward. The result is depression, a feeling of worthlessness. Although depression, intense guilt, and hypochondriasis may appear to be anything but self-glorification, Fromm believed that each of these could be symptomatic of deep underlying narcissism. Incestuous symbiosis. A third pathological orientation is incestuous symbiosis, or an extreme dependence on the mother or mother surrogate. Incestuous symbiosis is an exaggerated form of the more common and more benign mother fixation. Men with a mother fixation need a woman to care for them, dote on them, and admire them. They feel somewhat anxious and depressed when their needs are not fulfilled. This condition is relatively normal and does not greatly interfere with their daily life. With incestuous symbiosis, however, people are inseparable from the host person, their personalities are blended with the other person and their individual identities are lost. Incestuous symbiosis originates in infancy as a natural attachment to the mothering one. The attachment is more crucial and fundamental than any sexual interest that may develop during the Oedipal period. Fromm agreed more with Harry Stack Sullivan than with Freud in suggesting that attachment to the mother rests on the need for security and not for sex. Sexual strivings are not the cause of the fixation to mother, but the result. People living in incestuous symbiotic relationships feel extremely anxious and frightened if that relationship is threatened. They believe that they cannot live without their mother substitute. The host need not be another human, it can be a family, a business, a church, or a nation. The incestuous orientation distorts reasoning powers, destroys the capacity for authentic love, and prevents people from achieving independence and integrity. Some pathology individuals possess all three personality disorders, that is, they are attracted to death, necrophilia, take pleasure in destroying those whom they regard as inferiors, malignant narcissism, and possess a neurotic symbiotic relationship with their mother or mother substitute, incestuous symbiosis. Such people formed what Fromm called the syndrome of decay. He contrasted these pathological people with those who are marked by the syndrome of growth, which is made up of the opposite qualities, namely, biophilia, love, and positive freedom.